Bruce, would you like to present the Partners Award?
Yes, I would. The Partner Award is a very special award. It's on the level of the Hall of Fame awards that we give out for horse and rider. And I called Laura Hayes today so she could kind of cue me a little bit on the origin of this award and when it came about. It honors the late May Schlegel, whom I didn't have the pleasure of knowing, and her horse Pard, who even when he was as old as 30, she used to threaten to take him out on the trail and go beat some people with him again. And May was a pretty carefree gal, from what I understand. Laura shared an anecdote with me when she rode a bus out to ride the Old Dominion 50. She was 76 years old. Somebody loaned her a horse. She took her saddle with her on the bus. And her greatest memory, it was a year where they let the runners go with the horses, and her greatest memory was those cute guys running around in those tight little shorts. That's all she could seem to talk about. She had some vague memory of being on a horse, but that was what seemed to grab her focus. So, let me get my notes here. It's difficult to keep an award like this, or any of the awards, Hall of Fame awards, a secret. That's what we attempt to do, to make it as much of a surprise as possible. And so let's see if you can guess who this horse is. If I were to tell you that it was a mare, a bay mare, 21 years old, is that ringing any bells? 5,740 miles, 6 pulls is all, 10 BCs, ridden by a little woman with long flowing hair. Does that ring a bell to anybody? It shouldn't, because I'm lying to you. This horse and rider team have 7,480 miles together. They've completed 132 of 134 rides. Their only 2 pulls were on Tevis. They have completed 14 of 1600s. The horse is 35 years old. He is a gray, not a bay. He's a gelding. His name is Rafuro HCC, and he's owned by my friend, Ron Barrett. Ron and I have been riding partners for I think I'm going to keep this. We've been riding together for a very long time, and Raf, it's actually Rafuro HCC, not HCC Rafuro. There's a way the Hyannis horses were named. You get to keep that. You hang on to that. And is he 35 now? Is that right? 34. Still the fastest horse in the barn. And of course, due to age and infirmity, Ron no longer rides him in endurance. Because of Ron's age and infirmity, Raf's still faster than hell. So tell us a little bit about what he's meant to you.
Well, Raf, when I first got him, I couldn't ride him. I had Pat Pirelli come to my house. That's when Pat really wasn't recognized, and he was the first person that ever was able to touch him, get near him. But he was a great horse. He still is a great horse, and we had 18 years of riding together. So it was enjoyable, and I appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Ron, he also puts on the Man Against Horse ride locally where we are, and that's been going on for like 30 years or so. And the only way I could keep the secret is if I told you the rider had long hair. I knew that would throw him off, and he'd never figure out who the hell it was. So congratulations, you earned it. He is truly an iron horse. He has no teeth anymore, but he can still run like hell. He's just a great horse.
Our next award will be the Hall of Fame Horse, which honors a lifetime achievement by a horse and outstanding contributions to our sport in the AERC. The recipient of this award is going to win a horsehead statue and a beautiful photographic portrait by Lynn Glazer. I'm going to ask Dr. Nicholson to come up and present this award. I've known Dr. Nicholson forever, and I think Dr. Nicholson, his history is essentially the history of the AERC and of this sport. We've grown to think a lot alike, which is kind of bad for both of us, I suppose. But the real reason I like Dr. Nicholson is I love his wife, which is not really a big statement because everybody else does too. But I go one step further because I love his wife's mother. And I love his daughter, even though he doesn't always love his daughter. And I love Kalina. And I love his granddaughter, and we all love his granddaughter, Vanessa. So Dr. Nicholson, take over.
Thank you, John, I think. You know, during my life, I've had the pleasure of seeing some of the world's greatest horses up close. My greatest mentor in life and close to my father was Ed Johnson, who had Bezetol. And I got a chance to ride with Bezetol. Bezetol lived for a while on my ranch. I also, when I was on the racetrack, had a chance to be on the track at the same time as Secretariat. That was a pretty famous horse. Hell of a horse. And you know, I think back of the really great horses that I've seen, and they really stand out to you. And I kind of mentioned Bezetol because he was not really primarily a endurance horse, although that's what he's most famous for. This horse isn't, his claim to fame really isn't endurance. He doesn't have the most miles in his career in endurance. This horse is just an old ranch horse. And this horse has gone more miles on the ranch. And you know, you probably wonder how you would document that, but if you know ranchers, especially progressive ranchers, they keep track of everything. They can probably tell you what this horse weighed when he was a yearling, and a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they could probably tell you what he weighed when they were ready to butcher him, because he does have quite a personality. But anyway, he has so many accomplishments. I've known this horse for so long. I think the first time I ever saw him, I asked the owner whether she'd loan him to me for a Saturday around the riding moon on the 1st of August. And I was prepared to go ride the Tevis again if she'd give me the horse. He's probably one of the few in the country that would actually carry me through the Tevis. I think that he's got something pretty close to 11,000 miles. He finished 85 rides, 40% of the time in the top 10. He won a couple of years ago here the Perfect 10 Award for winning 10 first places and I think 14 best conditions. He won the Partners Award, I believe, a couple of years ago. He's been named overall best condition 8 times on Pioneer rides. He was one of 2 horses to finish the Great Santa Fe horse race. He also, not only did he finish it, he won the overall fastest time and the overall best condition. He's completed 97% of all of the rides that he was ever on, and the only time I know of him not finishing a ride was when his rider couldn't ride him. because the horse has always been ready to go. He's always been ready to go even when he had problems. He wanted to go. And an incredibly tough horse. Some time ago, he suffered a little hairline fracture, and he wasn't even lame through that. The veterinarians said that they couldn't believe that he wasn't three-legged lame. And he was taken down there just because the rider thought that he just wasn't quite right. And just an incredible horse. And I probably missed a whole lot. But this horse is Murphy, M.M. Pyro. Ridden by Karen Frederickson, who's as great a horsewoman as Murphy is a horse.
You want to say a few words about him?
It's a dangerous thing to ask me because I have more than a few words to say about Murph. But I guess to sum Murphy up, he is, in fact, the most amazing horse that I have ever had the privilege to ride. And he is obviously my once-in-a-lifetime horse. And people have asked me, can you describe him? And I would say, you know, when we were kids and we read all those books about all those horses, and we went to those Disney movies about horses, and we listened to all the cowboy songs about horses and their glory, and all those cliches. And I would say that to me, Murphy is all of those. He is a personification of all of those. So anyway, thank you, Dr. Nicholson.
Very nice. You better take the cool statue with you. John and I get to split anything people don't take home, so yeah, lay it on the table.
Don't drop it. Don't let Randy Island near it. All right. Our next award, no surprise, is going to be the Hall of Fame Person Award, which, of course, honors the lifetime achievements by a person and their outstanding contributions to our organization and to this sport. And the presenter of this award will be my friend Skip Kimmerer, Regional Director from the Northeast. Skip, you're there. There you are.
Can you hold that while I do technology?
Okay.
Thanks. So many times people wonder about what it takes to get in to be a Hall of Famer. Well, when you got to get nominated. But I want to talk a little bit about the individual who this year actually wins that award. This person is known for the absolute funniest cackling laugh. And you can be going down the trail, and all of a sudden you'll hear this cackle come up behind you, and you'll look, and there that rider will be. And they do it for 50 miles. To the point where if you're riding with them, it kind of gets annoying. At one point, they were mentoring a junior, and that junior finally got so tired of it that she said, if you shut up, I promise I'll keep talking and ride with you. How many believe in the evil ear? Anybody believe in the evil ear? Okay, well, I'm going to convince you that there is an evil ear. I know this rider one time happened to say on a ride that her horse wouldn't do this, her horse wouldn't do this, was spooky here, was spooky there, and lo and behold, she turned around and I said, well, I'll lead for a while, and led for a while, and her horse shaped up, and she said, well, that's great, let me lead for a while. So she leads for a while. We don't go a quarter mile. And all of a sudden that horse just stops, jumps to the left, and lo and behold, she comes over. Because I had told her, you're going to invoke the evil ear. She comes over the neck, hangs from the neck. The horse looks at her, takes one step with his butt to the right, and she falls down into the snow. The individual has completed many of the toughest rides, including Tevis, the Old Dominion, Biltmore, Vermont 100. But more importantly, she's mentored many riders throughout a career that dates back to 1940. She's also involved in mentoring trail masters and creating and developing and maintaining trails. Amazing capability to do that. So you'd think, well, this individual would have all kinds of quote-unquote luxury equipment. Nah, it's a minimalist rig. Sleeps in the back of the towing vehicle, but always with a dog. Finally, a couple of years ago, when it started getting cold and whatever, she finally got a generator, so she has a little heat now. But before then, there was no heat. So what I'd like you to do is give a good round of applause for this year's Hall of Fame inductee, my friend and my mentor, Pat Oliva. Thank you very much. It's 1940. There's that cackle.
I asked her if she wanted to say something. She said, oh, God.
First of all, thanks. I want you all to know it's because of every one of you that I am still doing endurance riding. Every one of you, when I fell off, when I got hurt, when my saddle broke, when my horse got loose, there was always somebody to help me. And it was all of you. This is what makes AERC different. The fact that you can come in and everybody busts their butt to help you. You know, we all are here together. We race each other, but in the afternoon when the race is over, we're friends. And I want every one of you all to remember that. If you can't take the time to stop and help somebody, you don't belong in this sport. The only way to the only way to pass the kindness on, to thank somebody is to pass that kindness on to somebody else. Thank you all so very much.
So I apologize.
I am not going to cackle.
I forgot one other very significant accomplishment that Pat has made. Pat is the only person in the world that completed the first OD ride and the 40th OD ride.
I'm so crazy as sin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pat, and thank you, Skip.
Thank you.
That was
Congratulations.
almost a cackle in there. I could just pick up a little cackle.
I could hear it.
I think we're done.
Pretty close.
How was the chow tonight? Was it good? Did you get enough to drink?
It's you.
I don't think we have anything else to give away, do we? Well, thank you all for being here. I hope you come next year, and I hope you had a great time at the convention. Saddle up and ride. Thank you very much.